Okay, I've been looking forward to this one for a while, Carly. So, welcome back, episode 3. Um, I am going to call this mum shaming because I see it all the time in assessments. You're obviously going to be living it every day because you've never got a smile on your face, always got a face like a slapped ass, and just we need to sort that out, don't we? So that's what we're going to be. That's what we're going to be talking about. So, what is mum shaming to you?
Oh God, that's such a hard question because there's so many aspects of mum shaming. It's just so much. I mean, the social media doesn't help us. Anything that questions your mum ability, I think. Like, I'm just literally made that word up on the spine. It's brilliant. Mum ability, like your ability as a mother, anything that questions you. Like, I think mum shaming, oh, you're bottle feeding your baby and not breastfeeding them. How dare you? Oh, you don't, they can do tummy time. Oh, you don't do this. Oh, like, I think anything that questions your ability as a mum is mum shaming. And anything.
Cool. I think you summed it up quite
Basically.
nicely there. There we go. Let's
Yeah.
talk about everything on this podcast. We're going to try and keep it to 25 minutes as well. Yeah, I mean, what I hear from assessments, obviously, I hear it from a fitness perspective, as I talk to hundreds of mums over a year, but it's around anything that you guys want to do for yourselves, you feel you should be ashamed of. That's probably the part I want to get to, because sometimes you don't feel shameful, but you feel like you should be feeling shameful. That's the first part I want to make, because it isn't always genuine mum shame. It's
Mhm.
something that's kind of spoken about, yet you might feel happy about doing something, but then feel like, I shouldn't be happy about this. Why am I, actually enjoying taking time to have a coffee and read a book?
That's mum
So,
guilt.
yeah, that's the first
Yeah.
thing. Also, yeah, shame is usually projected from an external source. So that could be, you know, feeling like what you're doing isn't good enough, whether that be from narratives that you believe in your own head, or, being careful who you speak to and who you get manipulated by. Because let's be honest, as humans, we are manipulatable. We're never going
Yeah.
to get away from that. But what you can do is choose who you're getting manipulated by. It's the difference between, there's a reason that there's a bus stop with a big giant picture of a Big Mac, and there's a one that's got, like, I don't know, a pack of cigarettes on with a bloke with half of his throat missing. Do you know what I mean? They don't do that anymore. Do you remember when they, obviously, olden days, they used to do, like, yeah, be a man, have a pack of Marlboro. Obviously can't
Yeah.
advertise like that anymore, but there's a reason that is, because obviously that'll get you thinking, maybe I do want a McDonald's. So we are naturally manipulatable. So if you're looking at, obviously, the wrong stuff on social media, reading an OK or Hello magazine, or you're hearing it in your baby group, oh, did you see, I don't know, Kylie friggin' Jenner lost 3 stone from having a colonic every second day after 2 months, or some, I don't know, obviously I'm obviously made that up just to clarify, but you get what I'm trying to say. There's all these standards that are put on you, and I just think half of that isn't making the problem any easier. It's comparing at the end of the day and thinking that you're not enough. And the sad fact is, and not even the sad fact, that the fact is, if you're comparing, you're always going to come out on the losing side, because there's a reason you're comparing. You never compare down naturally,
Mhm.
because obviously you see that as big headed. And obviously, as British people, we don't like being big headed and patting ourselves on the back, do they? You ask an American person, they love giving themselves a pat on the back, usually for something they haven't actually even done that well, but they'll still do it. But if you can meet in the middle somewhere, that's where I think the happiness is going to lie. So let's talk about that. So,
Yeah.
when do you personally, or where do you see other mums kind of typical situations getting into the shameful stuff? Is it food? Is it, what is it?
So I think that you project mum shaming if you're feeling bad about yourself. It's the same with like if everything, like bullies at school. People used to say, "Oh, it's because they've got the problem, not you." And I used to think, "What are you talking about? There's no way I'm the problem." But actually, not like as I've grown up, I've realised that that is so true. Like
Mm,
people when you're in a like bad place or just feeling a bit shitty about yourself, you do project it, you know. And I think that's where mum shaming comes from, because you do, I'm talking in the sense of mums shaming mums at the moment, and that's I definitely think when you're feeling crappy, you do it, you know, and it's one of them things. But I think we need to look at, actually, women support women, and we should try and hold ourselves accountable for what we say and what we're doing to other mums, and we can bring ourselves up in and make ourselves feel better by doing better things, rather than shaming other mums for bottle feeding or breastfeeding or whatever the hell it is, you know. I just bring that up because that's the main one that everyone does shame people for, but
I think
there's so many.
I think there's a power in the group that we've got for that as well, because obviously there's a lot of mums in there, and that's one thing I really have a high intolerance for in the group, is when they're, you know, unless they're all building each other up and obviously talking about personal shit. But I've actually got wrote down here trigger words as well, and I think you hit on one there when you said about should be doing this or should be doing that. Feeling like you should be doing anything other than what you are doing right now is an absolute fantasy. Like, you're not doing that, you're doing this stuff here, so fucking own it, you know. And if you're at the park but you're not really present, you're thinking about the 10 other things you're meant to be doing. If you're in having a coffee but then you're actually thinking about all the stuff that's not getting done at home, you're not being present, and that's only going to exacerbate the situation. You know, should is one of the words. I would say shouldn't have. I would say looking back on the past and kind of wishing that it was different, you know, projecting that that's going to be happening again in the future. I'm the type of person, I bet I'll be the worst. I don't have a clue, you know, thinking that all the other mums have got the answers. That's obviously not a trigger word, but these sort of things are absolute bullshit. Yet they're so real in your head that I think if we can just remind people that, you know, whoever's listening to this, when you're saying these things, there's no shame in it. There's no, unless you obviously attach shame to it, because it is something that we attach to a situation, because like we said, it's an external source, you know. And a classic example I always give is like, right, me and you were driving down the road in a motor, your brand new, I don't know, AMG Mercedes, we're going to the, you know, we're getting a little head-on dink with someone, they've got a banged out old pikey van. They're going to be happy because they get a climb out on the insurance. You're going to be pissed off because like your car's messed up. I've maybe cricked my neck and I've got to go to the hospital. We've all got different happy, sad, you know, feelings. The actual thing itself doesn't change. It's the way we react to it. And I think this again brings us back to why, you know, taking care of yourself, being present when you are having a coffee, but then also being present when you are in the park, also getting onto classes, also taking care of your sleep is so important, because, you know, it's a very fleeting thing. I mean, how long ago does it seem like Elsie was a week old?
Oh my God, yeah, it goes so quick, yeah. And people used to say that to me, oh, it goes so quick, and I just think, yeah, all right. Actually, now she's 7 months, and I'm like, Jesus, where's it gone? Like, it does fly, and it's because you are you are in a state of, like, again, I'm going back to the podcast from last week, but you are in a state of, like, my life has turned upside down. I have to adapt to this new life, and it's all just a bit hectic. And it is. Truthfully, it really is. The first few months of the first baby, you're like, what the hell, like, and it does fly by.
You wanted to say another word then, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But it does fly by, and yeah, you're so right. And I think that brings it on nicely to, like, the mum guilt is like feeling like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, but you should, because, you know, it's your world and your life as you know it has completely twisted round. So you should take some time for yourself. I remember I started exercising again, and on a Wednesday night, that used to be my night, and I used to do whatever I needed to do, blah, 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 blah. And I used to feel so bad because my husband was at home. He's bathing her, feeding her, putting her to bed, blah, 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 blah. And I was enjoying myself. Bloody dare I, like, and I felt so bad, but actually I made myself do it, and then I created this gorgeous space in my head, and I felt so much better for it. And it rolled on to the fact that I was really present when I had Elsie the next day, because I'd missed her,
Funny that.
you know, and I'd had that's the space for me for me again, you know, to adapt to my new life, to think about different things, and to be a bit more human.
Wicked. So who would you go to, and who would you avoid people to go to? Because obviously, hopefully, we're going to get this into the hand of people who are going to either be, you know, maybe in their first or second trimester, maybe going through this again for the second time for a baby. So I know it isn't just going to be mums that have just immediately had kids that are going to be listening to this. So who would you say to go to versus who you'd say to avoid for maybe like advice, or for like, you know, someone to just chat to? Is there any sort of way to, you know, advise on that?
Yeah, I mean, your healthcare visitor, if you want like a professional, your healthcare visitor is always going to be there. I mean, mine, I can just text, and one of the midwives will reply to me. Like the other night, I didn't know if Elsie had a cold or teething, so I kind of like just texted for some advice, and that's really helpful professional wise. But I would say go to other mums. Like I've made, so I'm actually going to shout her out because she's awesome. So I've remade a friend, Laura Kay. She is a mummy to a beautiful little girl, and obviously I've got a little girl. So her little girl's a little bit older, and I kind of went to her a little bit on Instagram. I saw her, and I just thought I'll message. I knew her from school, and I just messaged her, and she was a really good no bullshit kind of mum. She was like, this is what's happened, this is blah, 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 blah. You know, she was really, really good. And I think surrounding yourself with them kind of mamas are just brilliant. You know, find your mama squad, find your mama pack, and they will support you with things. If they don't, get red. No, there's no, you know, don't matter.
Have you ever been part of NCT? Or ever sort of dealt with any of those kind of, because I know there's a few like local chapters that they'll kind of match you up with local mums, and
like Peanut app or whatever it is.
don't know what that is, but I know not it's National Childbirth Trust. What they essentially do, on my understanding of it, is that they will hook you up with mums that are going to be giving birth in your areas about the same sort of time, and then they'll kind of help you to go through preggers and after. So
So
sounds
that's
wicked to me.
Exactly like that app I just told you. So it's an app called Peanut, and it literally you make it you make a little profile. Say if you've got a baby or you're due or blah blah, and it'll give you a radius. It's a bit like Tinder for mums, I suppose, and it gives you like a radius of like whatever you want to put it as, and it will match you up with mums in your area and blah blah blah. I've met most of my mums through baby groups and not online, but if you are more of an online person, I would recommend Peanut because it is good. I have been on it a couple of times, and it is good. So that's a good app as well for mums to use. And also like family members, don't forget about your mum. My mum's been amazing through everything, and just remember, different advice nowadays, like the NHS guidelines and stuff, are very different from what they were back when, like our mums had us, you know. So you know, don't sleep on their front now, you know, whereas we probably did, Glenn. Whereas like kids don't now. It's like safer sleeping and stuff. So just remember,
maybe that's why I've got this funny shaped head, I don't know.
Mine's like that. So just remember that, you know, your mum's brilliant. You know, my mum's been amazing support, and my mother-in-law. I've been so lucky. But just remember that things are a little bit different as well. So just remember to double check the guidelines and that, and just But you're gonna know. I always call it the mum superpower, because even when I work at the hospital and some women are like, my baby's not right, I know they're not right. I always believe them. Or if they're in labour and they're like, I really need to push now. No, you're not ready to push. I don't think that's right. Women know that you know your body. I know if I'm
like I said last week, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not, you know, I'm not anatomically a mum, so I'm not going to know what's best for any of the current or incoming clients or past clients that we've had. All I can do is advise on what's best practice according to, you know, books and what I've obviously experienced working with people. But yeah, I'm always going to defer to that. I'll actually have to look up Laura as well. What was I going to say? I think also what would be a really good thing is maybe to just, again, this ain't going to be for everyone because some of them are going to find them like for fitness inspo or whatever. But I actually think doing a blanket ban on all your social media of all celebrity mums is a really good idea because there ain't going to be anything in their life which is going to be relevant to yours. You're going to see, I don't know, obviously I'm just thinking about 25 years ago when like Angelina Jolie was first becoming a mum, or I don't know, before she started buying kids over in Africa. But she obviously had personal trainer and a cleaner and a nanny and a housemaid and a butler and probably a personal assistant
and a cook
and then and a dietitian and a hairdresser and a makeup artist and a this and an agent. Like, you'll compare to them people. If and as well, and on the flip side, some, you know, I'm gonna have to say this because I know you would never. Some of these mums, not for you, some of these mums are just simply going to be like younger than you. And if you're 24 to 28, or if you're giving birth at, let's say, 34, 36, your body has slowed down an absolute shit ton. And your lifestyle's changed as well. So, Carly, when was the last time you went out raving? Clubber size doesn't count.
Oh God.
Exactly. So
I really can't remember now.
yeah, and you're in, you know, a stable relationship. You've got a house. Some of these mums are going to be like, oh yeah, I went to a beef hut, met a bloke, been with him a couple of months, and now got pregnant. You know, we're going to have to, like, the actual story of obviously a kid getting into life in the first place isn't important for this part. But what is important is like the lifestyle you have around it, and you know, your metabolism is fast as hell when you're early 20s, you know, and you can eat whatever the shit you want. So you comparing to those
So different.
isn't going to be fair on you. Equally taking advice from them isn't going to be fair on you or them. They're going to be able to advise a certain demographic, but for most people that are going to be listening to this, it ain't you. So you're only going to probably get more frustrated listening to that.
And also, like, everybody's different, right? So say if you've got two people, right?
Yeah.
Just for example, me and my best mate or whatever, and we are both a size 12, but we want to drop down to a size 10, just for example. And we both do exactly the same exercise, eat exactly the same food every single day. We both do exactly the same job, exactly the same water intake, whatever it is. Our body is still going to look different at a size 12 and a size 10. Do you know what I mean? Even if we both drop that size and get down to a 10 or whatever, our bodies are going to look different. We're going to hold weight in different places. We are going to be taller, or our bone structure's a bit wide. Whatever it is, we are different. We're not going to look the same at all. Doesn't matter how much you try. It's not going to happen.
Mums, and how many mums do you get going, oh, I wish my stomach looked like that. Oh, why have I got so much back fat compared to her? Oh, my thighs are rubbing together all the time. I mean, just going over that, you've got genetics, menstrual cycles, hormones, accidents when you were younger, diet, amount of coffee you drink, you know, everything that you put in your body, not just woo-woo mental stuff, but like everything, you know, the air you breathe, the hardness of the water, the amount of steps you take every day. There's a billion factors that are going to affect that. So yeah, we can't just look at, oh yeah, I'm doing the same amount of workouts, we're both in the same body pump class, I don't know, I'm benching the same as her and I'm also following keto the same as she is. That's, you know, that's like throwing a brick in the Grand Canyon and expecting it to be building the same wall.
Yeah, and that's what I think that we need to realise and accept a bit more. And that's why I totally suggest new mamas go through your Instagram and blocking out the haters. That's what you just got to do. And if it doesn't suit you, just get rid of them. Like I don't think I follow any. I'm trying to think if I follow any celebrities. I really don't think I follow any celebrities. No, I definitely, maybe one or two. I
Carly, let
think
me just
maybe,
ask you then, what would you
yeah.
class as a celebrity? Is it like someone who's Insta famous, or is it someone who's actually famous?
I'm talking like Ed Sheeran, Kardashians kind of
Okay.
people.
Not
I
like
don't.
someone who was on Naked Attraction, then flipped onto Towie, and then like, oh my
No, I
God, I've
don't
got a new
follow them
skincare
either.
range. Okay.
Semi-famous. No, I don't do any of the Geordie Shore or Towie or any. No, I just don't do it because it's not real. To me, I want to make my Instagram as real as possible. And if someone turned up at your house, right, and you wouldn't let them in your house, why are you letting them into your social media account? Why are you
Very true.
accepting their stuff? I don't think that that's right. And do you know what? I used to be like that, but now I'm like, no. Do you know what? I'm going to filter it out. I don't want these people as part of my life. I don't want them seeing this. I don't want to see their fake stuff either. And I think you just need to. And if you're sitting there comparing yourself on Instagram, that's not a good thing. I use my Instagram for yoga moves, good healthy plant-based meals that I like, nice drinks that I can make. Don't get me wrong, I've got like good chocolate on there and stuff as well that I follow. But I don't do it to have it as a, oh my God, look at her lip filler, it looks so good. Oh, look at him, he's got a 7 million pack. Oh, look at this person, and I try and filter my
Was
Instagram
that my
to be
picture, or was that someone else's?
yeah. But yeah,
Shuffle
that's
going
what
on
I
as we speak.
that's what I would say to mums, is to filter out your Instagram, get some positivity in there, get some positive people around you, get your mum's club, message people as well. Like, mums don't mind being messaged. Like, one of my friends that I used to work with had a little boy, and I messaged her and I said, congratulations, if you need any advice, let me know. And I think that's what we need more of, is the community, because I think I said it in a couple of episodes ago, but we never had babies on our own when we was in tribes years and years and years ago, caveman times. Women gathered round.
Join the group.
Yeah.
Join
So
the group.
join the
Sorry,
group.
just had a
Yeah.
cough then. Tickly throat. My bad.
Join our group, and yeah, mums supporting mums, women supporting women, and I think that's what it's all about.
Wait.
You've got to,
Okay.
yeah.
Excellent. I think the final thing I'm going to go on to is just going to be how the after effects can kind of occur, because obviously we are doing a huge push on like emotional eating at the moment, and just they see that sounds so negative. I know I keep saying it, but every food you've got in your life has got a certain emotion attached to it. It hasn't
100%.
just got to be it hasn't just got to be a negative emotion. But
Yeah.
when you're going from binging to eating nothing, binging to eating nothing, you know, what you're missing is that grey area. And how many people say they're all or nothing? They're fine when they're on a diet, but then as soon as they come off it, they're off of it. Well, yeah, that's literally what you're talking about. So when you want to start finding that grey, finding that middle ground, it's okay to admit you ain't got a clue what it's going to look like.
Mm.
You'll 9 times out of 10 know what it's going to look like, because it will be the stuff you'll suggest. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be having the same portion as my husband. No, you shouldn't. Maybe I should be going for a walk with my mum when we're having a coffee instead of sitting around eating a slice of cake. Yes, you should if you want to. But little things like that, when you start to quantify them, this is why I compare it to like a job all the time, right? Get your hours, 9 to 5. Get your lunch, 12:30 till 1:15. You know what places are around your office? That limits that down. You know what times you're doing your sales calls. You know what times you're doing your marketing. You know what times you're, I don't know, scratching your ass and having a chat at the water cooler. Your routine gets pretty set. Once you have that, that's your grey area. The reason most people go for black or white is because they'll go, right, okay, I'm going to cut out carbs, or I'm going to go to keto. That's it. That's the let's call that the white area, right? On the black side, again, you've got the, I don't know, I'm going to eat whatever I want, holiday mode, fuck it, let's wait till the weekend. I'll give myself license to just eat whatever the hell you want. again, you can do days like that, you can do days like this, but again, the more you blend them,
Yeah.
that's what's going to make you into the person that is happy to, I don't know, either have sex with the covers off or with the lights on, B, seeing what, like, you know, liking what you see when you're getting out of the shower, but also not being that weirdo that can't have a coffee and a cake every now and then, or maybe when they go to their kid's friend's birthday party, not having a piece of cake when they go there. You know, which of those don't you want?
Yeah,
All of
it's
them, right?
restriction, isn't it? Like, if you restrict yourself, it's like having a kid. You
Yep.
say, don't touch that, what are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Go and touch it. If you say to yourself, I'm not eating cake for a week, what do you want for that whole week? Cake, 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 cake. It's just going to be in the head. So I think restricting things like that, obviously there's got to be like a middle
Compromise.
ground, but
Yeah.
not like being completely, no, I never touch that, I never touch that, I never touch that, I don't eat that, you know. And
Yeah.
that's where it's hard, and it's going to crumble one day. And as you said, I think it's really important to have your control, I suppose, and you know, no, actually, I've had a donut today or whatever it is, I'm not going to touch that. You know, have that kind of attitude towards it, but not kind of saying completely no to it, because it just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
But
It don't.
even in gyms, you're going to get these one directional, boring ass chicken and broccoli personal trainers who have got nothing better to do with their lives. They're like early 20s, genetically gifted. Oh yeah, mate, I've got an 8-pack because I eat nothing but chicken and broccoli every day. If you don't want to be like that person, why the fuck are you taking their advice? Same as you were saying with the doorstep a second ago, right? If you're going to someone who's advising you on, okay, how to eat healthy, how to get back in shape postpartum, how to basically get your energy and your stress sorted out and get your life back, and not just be a mum, but have all the other aspects of your life catered to as well. Why are you going to go to someone who is probably eating nothing but chicken and broccoli and then just going out and can drink 10 pints on the weekend? Again, because they're in their early 20s, we don't get hangovers, let's be honest. And then he's genetically gifted and probably training with a few clients a day, or maybe doing a session in between training clients. So they're training 2 to 3 times a day, if not a week, whatever, more than you could ever commit to because you've actually got a life and are not boring. Again, don't take advice from these fuckers. That's where I'm going to end my bit today. Because I've been that guy. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's all I was doing. That's all I cared about. Was the reason I got into personal training was because I thought I could get paid to lift weights and talk to pretty girls. That's literally the reason I got into the job.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to say it's changed now, but
I hope so.
yeah,
Well, you're speaking to a pretty girl now, aren't you?
Yeah,
rude. That's bloody rude.
That's for anyone that's just listening to the audio version. I'm just miming doing a digging with a shovel.
Yeah, digging a hole.
Yeah. Right, let's end it there.
I want to end it on. I want to end it on. I read a quote. I can't remember where it was from, but it did say that our generation was the generation that took classes in like careers advice and stuff like that. We never took classes in home economics or looking after children. So now we're at the place of being a mum. How can we expect ourselves to live up to all these different standards if we actually weren't taught it? That's like we weren't taught how to like take out a loan or do this banking or how to apply for a mortgage. We don't get taught them stuff. We learn them along the way. We learn how to get a mortgage along the way, you know, fill in this form, fill in that form. And it's the same with being a mum. You are learning along the way. Don't judge yourself for what you're doing now or what you've done in the past. Just think, oh, actually, that didn't work that time. What can I do this time? Learn from it. You know, it's again like filling in a mortgage form. I didn't sign that one. That went a bit wrong. But next time I remember to do that bit. And it's just learning along the way. And I just think that if you're listening, you're probably doing a cracking job anyway. Don't feel guilty for taking some mummy time, and yeah, get into our group, get some mums supporting mums help and women supporting women for sure. Yeah.
And they're doing better than most because they're listening to this anyway. So I'm just going to go. If this was a microphone, there we go.
Mm.
Happy days. Right. So coming up, obviously in the next few weeks, we are launching our emotional eating freedom challenge. So it's getting away from mum guilt, getting away from fat shaming, getting away from food shaming. Obviously, wicked topic to be covering because I know so many people are going to be going onto that. So if you do want the details for it, I'm going to put it in the description and in the comment section down below. As always, please feel free to get in touch. Give us any comments, any feedback, anything you want covered on topics on here. I'd like to think we've got a unique perspective on stuff. So yeah, be great to hear from you. And as above all, thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.